guys for letting us be here this evening. I know it's a little strange to have a theater group in here. But I'm Karina Caparino. I'm the Managing Director of XOXO. And like Diane said, we are an ensemble of theater makers. We create original works in and about Charlotte. We've been in the area, creating work in the area since about 2009. And while our creations are wildly different from one another, they each have a common theme that connect them. And that common theme is that we are obsessed with the shared experience. We believe it isn't theater until you, the audience, are in the room with us. And it isn't theater at its fullest if it doesn't remind us that we are all ultimately in this together. So please, if you want to learn more about XO, check out our Facebook page. We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're very social media savvy. The work you're about to see was commissioned by the Community Building Initiative and the Community Relations Committee. It is an attempt to frame the diverse opinions surrounding this ordinance in a way that allows for some perspective and some empathy. We have worked collaboratively with members of the Charlotte community to create something that allows for a multiplicity of voices to be heard. And while this is a performance, we have strived to make it as realistic as possible, with our actors portraying real people, real Charlotteans, reading prepared statements about a real issue. Thank you, and we hope you enjoy.
I want to start by saying that I think GLBT people are people. They are people just like everyone else and deserve respect and opportunities and education just like everyone else. I am a mother with 2 young daughters, and while I respect everyone's rights, I have a right to protect my children. And I do not support a measure that would put my girls and young women all over Charlotte at risk. We currently have ordinances that do plenty to lay out our city's common sense and common decency. I do not want to see us change the values that have made this city a great place to grow up and a great place to raise my family. I can imagine if these changes come about, taking my daughters to a restaurant, and they're at an age now where they can go to the bathroom independently, and me not feeling like I should let them go alone, or in fact, one of them telling me they are scared to even go in there by themselves. This is not a situation that should happen in my hometown. Of course, I understand that most transgender people are not sexual predators or pedophiles, but I think we all know in this day and age that people are capable of all kinds of things. We are talking about the minority here. We do not have to write down the rules for the majority of people. The majority of people are respectable. But the minority, we need to be protected from the minority of people that would use this ordinance as a tool to, at the very least, lower the bar of acceptable behavior and, at worst, victimize the youngest and most vulnerable members of our community. I just would not want my kids or anyone's kids to be put in an uncomfortable and possibly dangerous situation. We should never place the preference of an adult over the safety of a child. That would be incomprehensible to me and to most people's reasoning. I want to be able to take my girls and go out to a restaurant or shopping or to the pool in the summer and not worry about who will be around them in those private areas designated for women. Please do not open the door to those who would prey on my daughters or your daughters. Thank you.
When people hear my accent, they think I'm a small town kind of guy, but I've actually seen quite a bit of the world, and I believe that Charlotte, North Carolina is a world-class city. And I mean, this is a place that has grown and flourished rapidly, and it has as much to offer as any other city. Go Panthers. Broncos fan? Yeah. But working in the food industry can teach you a lot about people, and if I've learned anything, it's that it's impossible to judge a person based on their outward appearance. And you can tell, you really can't tell who's going to tip well, which waitress is going to drop an entire tray of food on a customer, who's going to drink too much, or who is going to be the kind of person who would attack another. To all the people who fear for the safety of our women and children, quite frankly, I don't understand the connection that you're making between LGBT people and sexual assault. I think it's naive to think that by blocking an ordinance that you could somehow prevent certain horrible things from happening. And additionally, if you do even the smallest amount of research, you would find that there are no links between expanding the rights of transgender people and incidents of harassment. And the biggest change that would come from this ordinance would be that members of the LGBT community being able to enjoy the most basic rights that you and I enjoy without even thinking twice about it. Now, as a restaurant owner, I'm not in the business of depriving myself of customers or their money. And in addition to wanting to be the kind of person that treats all people, all of the people with the basic respect and dignity, I'm the kind of person who wants as many charlatans walking through my doors as much as possible. And we should all want this. Communities that are diverse and welcoming are prosperous economically and culturally. And as long as a person is respectful, as long as they're respectful, I mean, there's not a problem there. And to those around them, they are welcome in my restaurant. And by voting yes on this ordinance, the council sends a message that Charlotte is a place where all people can bring their families, their ideas, and their talents. So let's show the rest of the country that Charlotte is continuing on its path to becoming one of the greatest American cities.
I'm a husband, father, and a small business owner here in Charlotte. I want to preface by saying that I do not discriminate. I act on the belief that customers and employees are valuable for reasons other than their sexual identity or orientation. Today I've heard from those in favor that we who are opposed are being bigots. But it is my opinion that this ordinance is an act of reverse discrimination and impedes on my responsibilities to my customers and my family. I cannot be expected to accommodate for each and every person who does not feel accepted by the local culture or my clientele. To do so would be to deny their rights to feel comfortable and safe in my place of business. You can say what you want, but this is 2016, and the reservations people have been expressing tonight are real. This ordinance can be taken advantage of by very evil people, and there is no reason for the city to allow that. As a Christian, I'm not interested in forcing my morality on another person. It's not our place to hold others by the same standards we hold ourselves. But I'm concerned about it becoming unlawful to deny services which would be against my beliefs. It's a matter of religious freedom, the right to believe and act on those beliefs within reason. By taking away the rights of business owners, this ordinance weakens local business in Charlotte and the Charlotte economy at large. It's not about us and them. It's about what's best for all of us. Please, make a stance against this foolishness. Thank you very much.
I hear a lot of talk from people about their kids. My kids won't be safe. I'm just looking out for my kids. I challenge you to look at me. First of all, I'm a preschool teacher, and I work with your kids every day. Second, I'm somebody's kid. My trans brothers and sisters are all somebody's kids. My mom and dad check in with me every day to make sure that I'm safe that day and that nobody has harassed me. I started as somebody's daughter. I was somebody's little girl, but I just knew that I was actually a boy. I could be your kid. And the reality that I'm harassed when I go to the bathroom, any bathroom, the men's bathroom or the women's bathroom, would definitely make me as a parent upset. When I'm in the men's room, the guys say things to me because I don't pass very well. They touch me, or they push me around, or they say inappropriate things. And I always get scared, so I use the bathroom that you tell me to use. I use the women's bathroom, but the cops have been called on me twice. I want to go to the bathroom. That doesn't make me a pedophile. I know I have it good, because my trans female friends, they've been assaulted when they go to the men's room or the women's room. They've been hurt badly when they have to go to a McDonald's restroom, put in a hospital. I just decided to take a friend with me because it's safer. But most of the time, I hold it and I pray that I make it home. Please look at me. I am your 3-year-old and your 7-year-old girl and your 14-year-old. Now I have to worry about standing up for myself on the street because someone's intimidated by me. I'm this big. Try to fight me. I had to tell my mom I had to fend off a guy in a bar because he was freaked out by me. I'm not asking for special privileges. I just want a safe place to go to the bathroom where I'm not touched or harassed or yelled at. Everybody keeps talking about their kids. I am your kid, and this is really hard. If you were my parents, I'm sure, even though deep down you might be horribly upset with who I am or what I am, you might not approve of me, you would still want me to be safe. Deep down, I think every parent wants that. Thank you.
Let's hear it one more time for our actors, please.
As Diane said earlier, these are actors, however, these are real stories. These are real stories. These folks have done much research, including research in looking at the transcriptions from the city council meeting back in March when this was initially brought up. And a lot of these stories actually come from that. These are real stories in our community. And we believe that they represent the many lived experiences that we go through here in the great city of Charlotte. Now is the time for you all to have some discussion. And this is going to be a little tight, but I think that you all can do it. We have about 250 people here tonight. We once had a group of about 320, 330 of a smaller space than this. And what I'm about to ask you to do actually work with that group, and I think that it can work with you. We're going to ask that you break up into a small group of 6 to 8. Okay, 6 to 8 persons. Hopefully you will meet up with someone that you did not come here tonight with, someone that you don't know well. And if you have people who might be on opposite ends of this particular issue, that's fine. In fact, that is ideal. We want you all to have a discussion with one another. We want you to respond to 3 questions. And before you actually respond to those questions which are listed on your agenda, we ask that you just before you start the discussion, take about a minute or 2 to silently reflect on those questions before you start talking. And so the questions are, how did these stories that you just heard, how did they land on you? To have that conversation initially. And secondly, we want you to think in terms of the Non-Discrimination Ordinance, what's at stake for you? In speaking, we ask that you speak from the personal level. Talk about how it is impacting you, not about how you think it is impacting everyone else. Again, we want you not to speak for everyone else. We want you to speak for yourselves tonight. Parents, obviously you can speak for your children. And then finally, the third question is that you all would look at connections that you may have had as a result of this discussion that you've just had, and consider some ways that we as a community, even though we may differ on this, but we as a community might move forward with those connections and working together. Okay? And we're going to give you about, just get up and grab somebody. You can actually turn your chair around and stand.